your go-to resource for U.S. immigration insights. We provide clear immigration news and information. Our platform provides a network of licensed attorneys who can answer your questions and guide you through the process. From visas to green cards, asylums to citizenships, immigrationquestion.com helps you to network with immigration attorneys so that you can move forward with confidence. Sign up today or download the app. Free registration, limited time offer. Stay tuned. We go live in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live webinar brought to you by immigrationquestion.com, a networking platform and meeting ground where immigrants, families, and licensed immigration attorneys engage, learn, and stay informed on the latest developments in U.S. immigration. My name is GB Satusa, and I'll be your host for today's session, establishing a bona fide marital relationship, best practices for documentation and interview preparation. Proving a genuine marital relationship is one of the most critical steps in family-based immigration. Whether filing an I-130 petition or preparing for an adjustment of status interview, strong and well-organized evidence is essential. For an adjustment of status interview, missing documents, unclear timelines, or weak proof of shared life can lead to delays, RFEs, and in some cases, denials. Today's discussion will help families understand how to build a clear, credible, and complete package that reflects the reality of their relationship. To guide us through this conversation, we are joined by attorney Adriana Gomez, Esquire. She is a bilingual immigration attorney licensed in both Florida and Colombia. After graduating from Pontificia Universidades Javeriana in Bogota, she earned her U.S. law degree from St. Thomas University in Miami and has been a member of the Florida Bar since 2006. As founder of AG Immigration Law, she focuses on deportation defense, family petitions, waivers, and appeals. With extensive experience guiding hundreds of families through USCIS and consular processes, she brings valuable insight into what officers look for when reviewing marriage-based cases. Attorney Gomez, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we begin, a quick reminder, immigrationquestion.com is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice, representation, or services. This platform serves as a public meeting ground where individuals can learn about immigration topics and engage with licensed attorneys who participate independently. To our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and everywhere else, welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Grab your notepads and let's get started. Now, Attorney Gomez, what core documents does USCIS typically expect to see when evaluating whether a marriage is bona fide, and which types of evidence tend to carry the most weight in spousal petitions?
Right. For example, the documents that you can have is joint taxes, joint bank account, lease agreements, insurance policy, for example, like health insurance or car insurance, life insurance, and of course, birth certificate of children or like share utility bills like power or phone, right? Those are very important. I think immigration gives a lot of weight to joint bank accounts, taxes for sure, joint taxes, and the lease agreement. And also, they give a lot of credit to life insurance and auto insurance.
Now, many couples do not have joint bank accounts, shared leases, or other traditional indicators of merged life. What alternative forms of evidence can still help demonstrate a genuine marital relationship?
Okay, so let's say that they don't have a share or joint bank account, but they each one has their own bank account, but they receive the statements to the same address. So that will also help to prove that. For example, travel itineraries. So they have travel to, I don't know, like to they take a trip to Orlando or New York, so you can save the airplane tickets, the hotel. Also share memberships. For example, they go to the gym together, or they have like the Costco or letters from the church. Also like joint purchases. For example, they bought their furniture, the TV, or their car. So those really help. And if anything else fails, then I would say affidavits for family and friends, no, showing that they have known the couple, how did they meet the couple, when they have shared together, and then it has to be notarized with like a copy of the driver license of the person that is giving the affidavit.
All right. Now, from your experience, what are the most avoidable documentation mistakes couple make when assembling I-130 or I-485 evidence for a marriage-based case?
The most important is review your documents before you send it, right? To make sure that your timeline is accurate, right? That you're submitting the proper documentation, that your is organized, right? That you know the order. Also, like inconsistencies, addresses. So, for example, sometimes you know how we move, right? But we didn't actually change our address, so the driver license is still from the old address, because most of our mail, we you choose paperless. We think that we don't need to change our address, but you can actually print your statement, but it will come to the other address, to the previous address, because you never actually change it, right? Because since all the things that we're receiving is mostly paperless, we think we don't need to change the address. So for immigration, they still think, okay, everything you're receiving is to your previous address. You don't have anything to your new address. So those things are something that you can easily correct by changing your address, changing your driver license, changing your address in your bank, in your I don't know, health insurance. Little things like that will really help out to make sure that you have no inconsistencies.
All right. Now, during marriage-based interviews, officers often ask detailed questions about the relationship timeline. What preparation steps should couples take to ensure their answers are consistent, accurate, and clear?
Right. The first thing is like to kind of like review it with each other, how they met, how did they start dating, when they got engaged, when they got married, so they can clear, not because you want to lie, is you want to make sure that you're both on the same page, right? So who like to prepare with, like, who the daily routine, so who cooks, what's the schedule for work, the schedule they wake up in the morning, right? To stay calm, right? I think the best policy is, try, when you get super stressed or nervous, then you make mistakes that are recently fixed, that you can fix before. If you are prepared, you read your documents, right? Because sometimes people make mistakes in the I-130 and the I-485, and you can fix it. But in order to fix it, you need to know that they're there. So you need to review your forms to make sure, oh, the officer, I'm sorry, there's a mistake here, and the officer will correct it, but you have to point it out.
Now, when spouses live apart due to work, immigration status, or personal circumstances, what strategies can help them effectively document an ongoing marital relationship?
Right. So as I say, the best thing will be, um, as I told you, like travel records, right? And for example, sometimes they send money to like another family member abroad, and you can show like the same address. Also, you can have your utility bills. Or like, for example, you if you show that you're both receiving your mail to the same address, that helps. So they both have separate bank accounts, they both have separate uh, credit cards accounts, right? But you both receiving at the same address, that still proves. I don't know, Amazon, right? We order Amazon all day, every day. Just keep some of those receipts from Amazon. That helps too. Um, and the memberships are really good. Like, I have heard that the officer likes the Costco, right? They like the gym, but if you go to the gym, then you have the membership together, or phone bills too, right?
Right. Now, for couples concerned about red flags, such as short courtships or age differences or limited shared finances, what practical steps can they take early on to strengthen their documentation and prepare for officer scrutiny during the interview?
Right. For example, photos, right? You can document your dating and marriage life through the photos. To like social media also can work that. And if not, then church, like religion, like your church, or that you show that you go there, right, that you're like attending church together, on family, and affidavits from family and friends, that those affidavits that the officer could give a lot of weight if you're doing properly, right? If the affidavit just say he's a great person, okay, that doesn't tell anything to the officer, right? So you need to have a detailed affidavit saying, okay, yes, we know the couple, we went to their marriage, we went to their like the wedding day, we had barbecue like 2 weeks ago, and we shared in the barbecue, I have met the wife, we have. So if you have a detailed affidavit that is not, sometimes when you ask, well, it happens to me when I ask my clients for the affidavits, all the affidavits say the same thing. So that doesn't prove anything, but you have each one is different, each one is really like detailed on how they met or how they have shared their time with the couple. Then that's a really great like tool that you can use.
Right. To everyone joining us live, thank you for being part of this critical discussion. Marriage based immigration is personal and detail driven, and staying informed can make a meaningful difference. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. ImmigrationQuestion.com is a networking platform where immigrants and families can ask immigration related questions for free and engage directly with licensed attorneys. Many users may also qualify for a free confidential consultation. We are also proud to share that ImmigrationQuestion.com is Triple B accredited, reflecting our commitment to transparency, accountability, and community education. Now, Attorney Gomez, based on your experience working with both USCIS filings and consular processes, how do you see platforms like ImmigrationQuestion.com helping families understand their rights and options in such a complex process?
Right. Webinars, right? I think webinars is a great tool to help to keep people informed, because sometimes with social media the thing is that there's so many information, so much information in social media, so many people that they're not really accurate in their statements in social media. I think webinars is the best place, so you can have like a forum where you have a professional there's talking about a subject, and then you have the chance to ask questions.
Thank you for that valuable insight, Attorney Gomez. Now, before we move into our live Q&A, here is one more question. What steps would you recommend couples take right now to safeguard their marriage-based petitions and prepare for potential issues during documentation or interviews?
I think the best thing is to read your application, make sure that you're filing all the documents that are required, make sure that you qualify, right? Sometimes we don't understand the law very well. Sometimes we don't know exactly what are the requirements or what could be a cause of ineligibility. And it is in that sense, you really need sometimes to see the second advice for an attorney, right? So because like you can say, oh, my friend got his green card and nothing happened, but and then my case is completely different, right? So the same thing that happened to him will not apply to you, because you can have one thing that will make your case completely different. So instead of having your petitioner is your United States citizen, your petitioner is a legal permanent resident. That makes the whole case completely different. Everything that applies to one will not apply to the other one, right? So you have to be careful to make sure that you have no ineligibility, that then if you go to the office right now when they can detain you or like send you to immigration court, then you have your case really prepared so that you can avoid that.
All right. If you've just joined us, we've been speaking with attorney Adriana Gomez on establishing a bona fide marital relationship, best practices for documentation and interview preparation. We are now moving into our live Q&A session. This is your opportunity to ask questions directly to a licensed immigration attorney. Drop your questions in the chat or call us live at 516-703-3483, and we'll take as many as possible. My wife and I live apart because of work. Will USCIS think our marriage is fake since we do not live together?
No, they don't think it will be fake, but it could be a red flag. But there's things that you can do to try to overcome those red flags. For example, you can have a lot of travel between when you have to go to work and then you're coming back to see your wife for the weekends, for example. So you can have your airplane tickets, right? A lot of communication between your wife and you. So like text messages or phone calls or emails that you share between you, pictures, and the affidavits of family and friends. So not necessarily that means that they're going to think it's fake, but it could be a red flag. So you have to find a way to overcome it.
All right. They said the USCIS does home visits for marriage visas. What do we do if they come to our house?
Right. It is very seldom that they do it, but yes, they have done it. Is they will come to your house to make sure that you are both living in the same house, right? And they will ask you questions about your life. And the best way to do is be honest and and then answer the questions and show that you are in fact living together, so you have nothing to hide.
Yeah. All right. If I get married in my country and have a small wedding, is that enough? Or will they want more?
No, that's enough. You don't have to have like a big wedding or a honeymoon. You can have no honeymoon. Okay, your wedding could be like three people. That is not, because that will depend of like your beliefs, your budget. So that doesn't affect it. As long as you have evidence that you got married, and you, even if you have three people, you have copies of, like, I don't know, you went to dinner, even if it's like fast food to McDonald's, is you still can show it if you can have more evidence like the bank statements or the other things that we have talked about, right? So but just to have a small wedding is fine, no problem.
All right. My spouse was married before, but it was traditional, not legal. Will that history make USCIS doubt our marriage now?
No, but if you can have some evidence to show that that marriage was never legal. So for example, you can have like I don't know, like a statement from an attorney in your country, or where you show that it's not considered a legal marriage, then I think it will be much better. But I'm not. If not, then I have had those cases, and they say if you cannot show me a divorce, and I was like, they never get married. They say an affidavit. So we have an affidavit from the party saying, okay, we never got married. We just lived together for a long time. So that's a common law marriage, and it was never actually recognized by the state or the United States. So
All
with
right.
that was enough, and the I-130 was approved.
Are we supposed to bring our toddlers to our family visa interview? Will visa officers ask about children?
Well, if the toddler is the you're bringing the toddler as part of the interview, then yes, supposedly that you're supposed to bring it, unless they say don't bring the toddlers, right? It depends of the embassy. There's some that will say, no, we don't want anyone younger than 14. Others, yes. So sometimes you have to make sure that you know the rules on the consulate. But if it's if because that is a visa interview, right? So that means a consular process. So it depends of the consulate. Some they say no, no people younger than 14. So others say yes, bring the children. So it depends, right? Um, the officer will ask about the children, but you can show like the birth certificate, this is the passport, the copy of the pictures and everything, the medical exam. And if because they're younger than 14 and the consulate say you don't need to, then you don't have to bring the children.
All right. What will make the US government do a Stokes interview for a couple?
Right. So a stocks interview in reality, what it means is that you're going to be separated at the interview, right? Sometimes also they record the interview. What is a separation? That means that they're going to bring like the applicant or so the wife first ask a lot of questions, and then the wife will come out, and then they bring the husband by himself, and then the husband will ask the same questions, right? um, Usually have seen it is when you have a second interview. Okay, when you have there's something happened that you even know what happened, that they make them hesitate, or that there's a red flag in your marriage and they want to do a second interview. Sometimes almost likely those second interviews will be a stock interview. uh, Other times is because there's no limit of how many application I-485 you can file. I have filed another one, right? If my like my adjustment of status application got denied, I can file another one, and I have done it. And those cases, even it was the first time that interview for that new application, they will still look at stock marriage because we had previously gone, or things that when you have previously been determined that it was another marriage from another person and they got denied, then they can do it. But it's not that common.
All right. As we wrap up, Attorney Gomez, given reports that the Trump administration is considering a policy targeting legal immigrants from travel ban countries, what are the potential legal and constitutional implications of such a move?
Right. I would say like those cases will be sued in federal court, I would say, but there's a lot of implications. We have here that they're canceling the oath ceremony for people that are legal permanent residents, apply for citizenship, and the citizenship would approve, and they were just waiting for the oath ceremony. And then 1 or 2 days before the oath, or sometimes when they went to the oath, they say that the oath was canceled and they will like get back to them, and then they haven't heard back from the just to become a citizen, right? And it goes from there, go all the way back to just filing change of status. Even if you're in the US, change of status to student visa. I have one of that just recently got notice of intent to deny, saying where our intention is to deny based on discretion because you're part of a country that is a travel ban. So just what do you have to say about it? So you're trying to see, well, because the problem with discretion is if a case is denied on discretion, then you cannot appeal, right? Because it's discretionary. So that means that if they say no, that's it, that's the end of the line. And the only reason they will say no is this discretion because of your part of a travel ban, not because you're ineligible for your relief you're seeking. So I think and I hope that it will be sued in federal court because it's unconstitutional. Like you're already a resident, or you're already on the process of getting your green card, and now or your student visa, and then it gets denied because of this travel ban.
Thank you so much, Attorney Gomez, for you sharing your expertise and practical guidance today. Your insights have helped families better understand how to prepare strong, credible, and well documented marriage based cases. And to all our viewers, thank you for joining today's webinar. We hope this session equips you with practical tools to support your family's immigration journey. Remember, you can always visit immigrationquestion.com to ask immigration questions for free and connect with licensed attorneys. Many users may also qualify for a free confidential consultation. If you'd like to revisit today's discussion or share it with others, the full replay will be available on Spotify soon. Search for Borderless Talk by immigrationquestion.com. Join us again next week for our upcoming live session covering essential topics, including asylum updates, family petitions, green cards, and compliance developments. Thank you again, Attorney Gomez, and thank you to everyone watching. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay connected.
Thank you. Happy